Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations, as always, to the elect. And I wanted to get into this video. As you're going to see, a young lady who went off into war, was on a mission, all right, with some soldiers, and pretty much she was assaulted and ended up dead, all right. And often, you know, a lot of women who go into Esau's military, you know, when they get there, you know, they're ran through, broken, destroyed, raped, you know, whored out. And ultimately, the reason for this video is that arena of war and going into the military is no arena for a woman. All right. But that's one of the benefits, all right, that you women have gotten, all right, through the serpent. OK. And it's proven itself to be a failure. In this video that I'm going to play is an example of that. All right. But even outside of this example, all right, over the years, we've seen, you know, many women, you know, go into combat. All right. And destroy themselves. Hell, even the men, all right, who fight in Esau's military, all right, are mentally destroyed, physically destroyed. Very few, you know, make it out without some form of mental issue. All right. And you even have particular brothers who fought in Esau's military. All right. And it's a blessing. All right. That they're, you know, still have their wits about them to do this work. But some of them suffer from particular conditions. But hey, that's just the condition of the battle. We all had our walk before this truth. Now, in our scriptures, in the law, all right, we're going to show you that our women did not participate, all right, in war, in combat, all right. And we'll go into a few things, and we'll also address Deborah, which is often brought up, because for some reason, you know, our women want to mix the God of this world and the authority given unto them by the serpent with the scriptures, all right, which is what, equality with the men, all right, and being everything but a woman. All right. Basically, what you have here is women are so busy, you know, trying to be men and trying to be equal with men that they forgot to be women. But anyway, let's play this video and get an example of the destruction that comes, all right, with being under this Edomite and following his way.
Crime. Last night, we told you about 27-year-old Danisha Montgomery. She was a military police officer stationed in Germany when her family got a call that they will never forget. Here is a portion of that frantic call home from our story with investigative correspondent Rich McHugh.
In this 12-minute video call with her family, she said she went with a group of military police from her unit off base to a water park, said they had been drinking, and on the car ride back, they assaulted her.
They choked me out. Look, they was doing it to me in the car. I kept telling them, I was like, I can't breathe. I was like, I can't breathe. I was gasping for air. I was like, bro, I ain't never been so scared in my life. I thought I was going to die in the car, bro.
In and out of tears on the call, she vowed to report her assault the next day.
All right, and you can see her. I mean, she doesn't look even look close to a individual that should be chosen for combat or for war. All right. But this devil has you women, all right, on the front lines with a helmet and a gun. All right. Or put in positions that ultimately are detrimental to your makeup. Now, when you deal with war and when you deal with those who are chosen for war, those who are usually chosen for war are usually the grunts of a society. OK, the very men here in Babylon who are looked down upon, you know, the manly men, you know, the crazy, they call them crazy, you know, rough. Those are the men that you want fighting in your war. okay? Even for this spiritual war, okay, the Lord hasn't chosen, okay, the wise and eloquent of this world. Some of us are, but ultimately the majority of us are what? Rough around the edges. We come from various different backgrounds, but when you dealt with our military, all right, it was a particular kind of man, all right, that the Heavenly Father chose. All right, we'll even show you that if a man was newly married, the Lord didn't want him on his military campaign. Okay, David didn't want men who had even been with his wife, all right, you know, in the months. Okay, he wanted it to, if you went on a military campaign with David, all right, you had to have been separated for your wife for some time. All right, because he wanted your mind got to be right. That's why boxers are known, all right, to what? Separate from their wives, all right, when they go into a training camp. Okay, so here it is. You are a woman and you go into this, you know, this environment where you have these these crazy, these men who are, you know, they're not wrapped too tight. And those are the kind of men you want, you know, fighting your war. You don't want no soft, delicate. All right. Like in America's military, you got trans men, all right, alphabet men, weak men. And the majority of the people who even sign up for the military do it for monetary purposes. They don't have really a mindset or any sort of, you know, the majority of them, any sort of patriotic mind towards America. They're just doing something because they got out of high school or they need something to do. Your mother tell you you're going to join the military. So they're not really in that mindset of war or defending, you know, their native country. They're just there. So when something happens where they're called to war, we saw this example, probably, it was last year sometime. Videos was coming out when, you know, particular soldiers were being called for combat. A lot of them were making videos, women saying, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't know that they were going to call me for actual combat. I just signed up for this to, you know, for money. I didn't really want to go to war. They were crying, making videos. So here it is. You put a woman in this environment with these uncouth men. OK, because what do men do when they go to war? When you send these men over into these various different countries for war, they're going over there, they're destroying, they're raping, robbing, murdering, plundering. All right. They have a very vicious mindset. Right. But then you put a woman amongst these men. All right. What do you think is eventually going to happen to that woman? OK, she's going to be used and abused. And when they go on various different missions, the women that are there. All right. I know men who were in the military and they're used for a particular purpose. I'll just say that. OK, because they get scared when they go on the mission. So they'll be like, well, you just stay right here. But they use her for you know what, which is ultimately an environment that a woman shouldn't even be in the first place. All right. So let's go back. Let's go back and listen to it again.
Last night, we told you about 27-year-old Denisha Montgomery. She was a military police officer stationed in Germany when her family got a call that they will never forget. Here is a portion of that frantic call home from our story with investigative correspondent Rich McHugh.
In this 12-minute video call with her family, she said she went with a group of military police from her unit off base to a water park, said they had been drinking, and on the car ride back, they assaulted her.
They choked me out. Look, they was doing me in the car. I kept telling them, I was like, I can't breathe. I was like, I can't breathe. I was gasping for air. I was like, bro, I ain't never been so scared in my life. I thought I was going to die in the car, bro.
In and out of tears on the call, she vowed to report her assault the next day.
I'm going to talk to CID tomorrow.
And what, tell them that you just want to get out or what?
I'm telling them that I don't want to be here no more. Yeah. I'll do whatever I have to do, Mom. I'm coming. I can't be here no more. I don't trust them. I don't trust my leadership. I don't want to be here with none of them no more.
In a text message to her uncle the next day, she wrote, "They told me if I report an assault, I'll be charged with assault too because I mushed the female."
Now they're saying assault. All right. And then you have other females who assist in raping other females. They'll set them up. It's all sort of wickedness going on in the military. All right. But as you can see, she was broken. She wasn't mentally prepared to be in that environment.
Bit the male that was choking me. 21 days later, on August 9th, Denisha Montgomery was found dead in her barrack. That same day, the Army told Denisha Montgomery's family that she took her own life.
And they said that we're sorry to inform you that your daughter has committed suicide by suffocation. And I said, how do you suffocate yourself?
I know that my daughter wouldn't kill herself.
No, she didn't kill herself. They killed her ass because she was getting ready to testify that they did something to her. And we know what happened. Okay, so let's get the book of, let's show you how on point our laws are. All right, and see, these are things when we were in the church. Let's get Deuteronomy, the 3rd chapter. When we were in the church, these are scriptures that were never presented to us. Okay. Now, it's not like in this society, all right, we're sovereign. All right. But knowing the mind of the Lord, okay, and to the best of your ability, keeping the laws and, you know, moving in a particular way keeps you out of particular situations. Had they knew the Lord, they would know. All right. This is Deuteronomy, the 3rd chapter. All right. Where we got a victory. All right. Over the king of Bashan. All right. Remember, we were marching towards the promised land, and there were men, okay, who were at war taking down these heathen nations. Now, remember, there was an angel following them, okay, which ultimately the victories were what? Given through that angel. Okay. Because remember, it was told to them. Let's get that real quick. When you go to possess these lands, basically, it says, when you go to possess these lands, mine angel shall bring you into these lands. So that the Lord was dealing with Israel. And the heathen were like, damn. So they were taking down these heathen. Okay. Winning, conquering all of these wars. Okay. And taking possession of the lands. All right. So let's get Deuteronomy 3. And we'll jump to 19. I start at 18. It says, and I commanded you at that time, saying, the Lord your God have given you this land to possess it. You shall pass over armed before your brethren, the children of Israel, all that are meet for the war. Okay, let's read it in the NLT. It says, and at that time, I gave this command to the tribes that would live east of Jordan, although the Lord God has given you this land as your property, all your fighting men, okay, must cross the Jordan ahead of your Israelite relatives, armed and ready to assist them. Okay, they were in a war, right? But your wives and your little ones, okay, your sons and your daughters, and your cattle, for I knew that ye had much cattle, shall abide in your cities, which I have given unto you. Okay, NLT. Your wives and the numerous livestock, however, may stay behind in the towns I have given you. See, our women didn't go to war. Okay. Now, what do most people who are Israelites do when they hear that? Because the woman, for some reason, it has a hard on. And yeah, you act like you have rods, a lot of you, to be equal with the man. So what do? They immediately jump to Deborah. Now, before I go to that, okay, okay, it says the men, okay, who were ultimately worthy. Okay, let's read it again. I commanded you at that time, saying, the Lord God have given you this land to possess it. Ye shall pass over armed before your brethren, the children of Israel, all that are meet for the war. So even particular men weren't meet for war. Let's get the book, Deuteronomy, the 24th chapter. Okay? Because if you had just married a wife, okay, you weren't qualified for war. Okay? Because when you went to war, your mind will be thinking about your woman back home. Now, here in Babylon and all over the world, you have people who become married, all right, and then the man or the woman go off to war in the newlywed phase. So the men go off to war and leaves this woman, this Babylonian woman, at home alone. What do you think is happening? And that's an ongoing joke and narrative in America. When you go away to war, your woman is back home getting popped by the next door neighbor or the mailman or some nigga she met, okay, when she went to the gym. That's out of order. Deuteronomy 24:5. When a man have taken a new wife, he shall not go out to war, neither shall he be charged with any business, but he shall be free at home 1 year to cheer up his wife, which he has taken. Let's read this in the NLT. A newly married man must not be drafted into the army or be given any other official responsibilities. He must be free to spend 1 year at home, bringing happiness to the wife he is married. And that's the newlywed phase. Okay, but here in America, you in the newlywed phase, all right, and you get a call to combat, and you got to report. And the rest is history. And you come home and she got a whole new vibration on her, hugging you, cheering, acting like she's happy you're back, but really she's thinking about, all right, Tyrone, okay, or Greg, or Dion, or Melvin, or all of them. You think they just gonna deal with one? This is America. They have the freedom to do what the hell they want to do. See if we can get a precept out of this. No. Let not the wife depart from her husband. Let thy fountain be blessed and rejoice with the wife of thy youth. All right, and this is why it says this here, 1 Corinthians 7:29. But brethren, this I say, the time is short, it remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they had none. All right, because that comes with a particular vibration, okay, and spirit. Okay, it kind of weakens you. So that's why the Lord was like, well, you just stay back and deal with your woman. All right, a year afterward, you know, then maybe you'll be eligible for war. All right, now let's deal with, let's get the book of, I believe it's Psalm 68 real quick. Psalm 68. Then we'll deal with Deborah. Everybody brings up Deborah, just one woman. All right, but was she fighting in the war? No, she was just judge over Israel at that point. All right. Psalm 68. And see here, around 12. Yep. It says, Kings, Psalm 68:12. Kings of armies did flee apace. All right, meaning they went abroad to fight in wars. Okay, and she that tarried at home divided the spoil. So when our men went to these wars, all right, and even your son, all right, when he got into the war, he had to be, I believe, 18 or over, or 21 or over. I believe that's the age. Okay, but anyway, when we went out to war, we would take the spoils of these nations, meaning take their riches, their gold, okay, hey, even at particular times, their virgins. Okay, that's what happens in war. All right, you take the virgins of that nation. All right, as a matter of fact, an example of that is in Numbers. W0MEN. Okay. It's in the book of Numbers. Yep. Numbers 31:17. This is a man's book right here, man. Numbers 31 and 17. Now therefore kill every man among the little ones, and kill every woman that have known man by lying with him. This is what you did at war. Okay? But all the women that have not known man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. To do what? Teach her the Hebrew? All right. Well, that's where the law, all right, comes where, you know, if you find, you know, a beautiful woman amongst the captives, all right, you let her mourn her parents, all right, for a month. All right. She shaves her head, her nails. And then after that, you're able to go up into her. All right. But she puts off her gods. She puts off everything she knew, and she has to come up under your order, your God. That's a concubine. Okay. Only the young girls who are virgins may live. You may keep them for yourself. This is in the Bible. But anyway, Psalm 68 and 12. Kings of armies did flee apace, and she that tarried at home divided the spoil. So once we came back with the riches, there will be a victory, a party. Okay, the women will have food ready, wine. Okay, they will be smelling good as they've been bathing in oils and, you know, taking care of the children. All right. And when you got back, there was like a victory. Now, when we get delivered, when we get up on that chariot, that's going to be like us returning home from our battle, from a military battle, because that's where we're at. We're on the front lines of a spiritual war. OK, and when we get up into those chariots, all right, that's going to be like a celebration of victory. So when the men came home with all of the spoils, the women divided the spoils. Ooh, can I have this ring? Can I have this gold? Can I have this stone? All right. Soft life, right? They call it soft life, right? Now, the women in America and a lot of you Israelite women, you want to say, you want to take on the vibration of this world and say, I can do it too. So you want to go out and fight on the front lines, which none of you do it. None of you are going out on the highways and the byways faithfully doing what the men do. All right. The Lord chose men for that purpose. OK, why would you want to be a hard, and you got a lot of women now. OK, I know that woman who was put to death in that video we showed. I know she wished she was at home being a woman. You seen she was crying. I want out of this. I want out of here. She was crying. I can't take it no more. Right. And she had a testimony against particular people. They were like, we're going to kill her and say she killed herself. It ain't no justice coming to that family. How do you smother yourself? All right. They could have made up any lie, but you smother yourself. How do you do that? Like you can jump in some water and drown yourself if you can't swim out. But if you smother yourself, eventually you go take the pillow off your face. What are you doing? Anyway, enemies and kings, NLT, enemy kings and their armies flee while the women of Israel divided the plunder. So whatever was brought home, the women who was abiding at home, okay, divided the plunder. All right. And that goes into what? Titus. Let's get that real quick. Because it's funny that when Israelite women do videos, they're not teaching you how to knit. They're not teaching you how to be a better wife. They're not teaching you how to be a better mother. They're telling the men, you ain't going to have more than one woman. That's the majority of Israelite women's videos. It's telling men what they can and can't do and what they ain't going to do in the kingdom, how they should teach. Okay? Oh, boy. Titus 2 and 5. The aged women likewise, that they may be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home. Okay. Keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands. All right. That the word of God be not blasphemed. Okay. And again, we told you and showed you the other day I did a video. I'm going to bring it back up. When you get Deuteronomy 22:5, and we'll get to Deborah and we'll close it out. When you go to Deuteronomy 22:5, when it says a woman shall not wear that which pertaineth to a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for that all that do such are an abomination to the Lord thy God. So we showed you in that video, and I went into how idol worship runs this world, because everything that we're talking about, even a women being in war, that is based upon heathen customs and tied to idols. Okay, let me read this. This is John Gill's commentary on this Deuteronomy 22:5. All right, it says that the woman shall not wear that which pertaineth to a man. So what the heathen would do is honor their gods by a man putting on a dress, okay, and a woman putting on a man's armor for war. So let's show you this. Let's read it again. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth to a man, it being very unseemly and impudent and contrary to the modesty of her sex. Or there shall not be upon her any instrument of a man, any utensils of his, which makes use of his trade and business. So you got a woman with a hammer. Okay. Women, you know, construction workers. Okay. That's what came from, you know, women's liberation and equality. Women fighting boxing. Women fighting in MMA. You know, it says, and it sounds harsh, but see, the only reason that sounds harsh to you is because what? Let's get it real quick. Let's get the book of 2 Corinthians, the 4th chapter. Okay, 2 Corinthians, the 4th chapter, in the 3rd verse. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the God of this world have blinded the minds of them which believe not. See, the God of this world really controls a lot of you Israelites' minds. So when you hear particular Eastern customs, they're challenging unto you because of how you were raised. All right. And that's okay that it's challenging. But once you buck up against it after you see it, and you don't wash your mind from the old way of thinking, then that's on you. There's plenty of things that we hear that are challenging to us. OK, but it all boils down to what? We haven't known. All right. The mind of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. When you go into the churches, they don't go into these topics. All right. And they get millions, hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars in tithes from mostly women. All right. Or some old men with they don't even know how to close their mouth right. Stuck on stupid. So it's the God of this world that have blinded the minds of you which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Mashiach, who was the image of God, should shine unto them. Okay. And let's get Jeremiah, the 6th chapter. As a matter of fact, let me see. So the God of this world has a stronghold on the minds of many of our people. Okay. And a lot of you men who teach the Bible, you try to cater it towards this Western way of life. You cannot get the full understanding of this Bible or of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai with a Western mentality. That's what's called renewing your mind, washing away the filth, the true circumcision. See, the circumcision of the mind. It says the circumcision of the heart, but it's the circumcision of the mind. See, and then you'll have ease with particular things the men of the Lord teach, because the Lord ain't raising up Western. He's raising up Eastern ancient men. So we're going to come a particular way. We're going to say we ain't holding no punches when it comes to the truth of this Bible, man. See, this world tiptoes around the woman. We're straight with the woman. And see, for years, women didn't want to have nothing to do with GMS. But now, as you can see, women are now like, oh, I get it. These are the type of men I want leading me. Not no weak, put that woman first, Jahim demon. Women don't even like those kind of men no more. It was a facade. And when women got those men, good morning, queen. Good morning, empress. Good morning to all my sisters. They roll their eyes at that. Women don't like that shit. See? But you got Israelite men who teach this Bible who want to cater it to this world, man. Trimming your way to seek love, man. That ain't the way. That ain't the way you're supposed to do it. Now, this is Jeremiah 6. Let's see here. 16. Let me see. I'll look it up. Old paths. I saw that video. A believer sent it to me, and I'm like, wow. I'm going to just do a quick video, so it turned into this. It's all about edification. Wasn't I just there? Anyway, Jeremiah 6 and 16. Seek, therefore, thus saith Yahweh, stand ye in the way and see and ask for the old paths. The reason our lives are so destroyed, the reason our men are so through, our women are so through, everything's out of order, everybody's arguing and stressed out, is because the laws of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai aren't in place. But see, the elect are waking up to that. Okay? Ask for the old paths, all right? Where is the good way? And walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. Had that man and his wife knew the scriptures, they would know, I'm not sending my daughter to no goddamn Esau's military. Are you out of your mind? I'm not even sending my son to Esau's military. The true military to enter to is the military of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Okay? And we're in a war. All right? You best believe that. I don't understand. Why would a woman want to go in that atmosphere? Combat. See, these movies got y'all bugged out of your mind. Okay? It's not reality. Okay? You're not going to beat predator ass in reality. No, the predator is going to destroy your ass in reality. But in the last Predator movie, what was it? A woman, which I was hoping her brother was the one, but the woman ended up being the one. All of these movies are pushing you women to do what? Be warriors. And then you look at reality, women are making videos. I'm tired of being strong and independent. See? Walk in the old paths. And what happens when you do that? You shall find rest for your soul. But they said, we will not walk therein. All right. Well, the day is coming, okay, where you're going to regret that mindset. Okay? Jeremiah 18 and 15, because my people have forgotten me, they have burned incense to vanity, and they have caused them to stumble in their ways from the ancient paths, to walk in paths in a way not cast up. See that? Malachi 4 and 4. Remember ye the law of Moses, my servant, which I commanded unto him in Horeb for all Israel with statutes and judgments. You got to understand, the law, statutes, and commandments came from the heavens. Okay, so though we can't keep it perfectly, you could at least look at it, and it can help you. It can help as a guide into particular things you're going to be encountered with in hell, along with wisdom, along with the precepts. In it, you get to know the mind of the Lord. And see, when you get to know the mind of the Lord, you find out, damn, I hated the Lord all my life. So are you going to repent once you figure that out? Or are you going to still try to walk under the serpent's way? But the serpent said, see, a lot of you, but the serpent said, when you find out the man determines the nationality of the child, of the nation, that the legacy of all nations are in the ball sack of the men via the sperm, the seed. What does Jake do? To appease to the woman. Okay, well, no, it ain't just the man. Why? Why? Why are you devaluing your own self for her? She's the seed of her father. She's an Israelite because her father was an Israelite. Anyway, remember the laws, man. So let's finish this off, and then we'll go to Deborah and leave that, and we'll finish, man. So, Lakia, the Spirit just moves us to go where we go, you know? So it says, the woman shall, Deuteronomy 22 and 5, a law, all right? We so far gone left, man. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth to a man, it being very unseemly and impudent, and contrary to the modesty of her sex. See? And that's the last thing a woman wants to be in Babylon. The serpent gave you freedom to not be modest, to make your end all be all, your sexual appeal and showing yourself off. That's what a queen did of the heathen. See, the heathen had queens. They paraded themselves around. The kings of the heathen allowed their women to walk around showing themselves off. See? But our culture was based upon the modesty of the woman. It says, there shall not be upon her any instrument of a man, okay, and utensils of his, which he makes use of in his trade and business. And if she was employed with it, when her business was not to do the work of men, but to take care of her house and family. So this law may be opposed to the customs of the Egyptians, as it is thought, from whom the Israelites were lately come. To separate us from the heathen, the Lord gave us laws, basically. Okay? Take heed, especially in war, that a man do not make use of the habit, a woman do not make use of the habit of a man, or a man that of a woman. Okay? See here. All right. The women didn't even put on the priestly garments and phylacteries and fringes and stuff like that. Fringe garments and stuff like that. But I'll have to look into that history as far as the fringes. It says, let's see here. And then, no, you're not wicked if you're a woman and you have fringes on. But it's talking about the priestly garments. Women didn't wear those. Neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, which would betray effeminacy. We didn't want that amongst our nation, or softness, unbecoming of men, and will lead the way in many impurities. That's what you have here in America. Now you got drag queens reading to your children. Let me just get to the point. Okay. For all that do so are an abomination, which is a reason sufficient why such a practice should not be used. Some from this clause have been led to conclude that respect is had to some customs of this kind used in idolatrous worships, which are always abominable to the Yahweh. Okay. So Maimonides observes that in a book of the Zabines, it is commanded that a man should wear a woman's garment colored when he stood before the star of Venus, and likewise that a woman should put on a coat of mail and warlike armor when she stood before the star of Mars, the god of war. So these heathen honored their gods based upon trans behavior. And is not that being pushed here in America? Is not everywhere you look, you see the energy of Baphomet, which is a dual gendered god, okay, which is one of the archangels of Satan. And that in particular is the god over here in Babylon. Okay, that's the archangel that pretty much is over the energy of Babylon, the great, okay, which when you go back to ancient Sumeria, they had dual gendered gods. See, when you go to the book of Nahum, he was cursing out Sardanapalus, who was one of the last rulers of Nineveh before it fell, because he was a cross-dresser. So when you look at Nahum's book, he's pretty much cursing out the energy of that society, okay, as it before it fell, the same way we're cursing out this society. Okay? All right, it says, so we're here, which he takes to be one reason of this law, though besides that he gives another, because hereby concupiscence would be excited, meaning the people would see that, the children would see that, and lewd behavior would follow. Okay? It says, and on an occasion for whoredom to be given, and there was such some such customs among the heathen that may be confirmed. Okay. And it goes to what? Them worshiping Venus, the moon, and all of these various different gods. Okay. See? Let's go down here. Men sacrifice in women's garments and women in men's garments. Okay. The Phoenicians in Cyprus, from this whom this custom might have come, and to prevent it obtaining among the Israelites in any degree who were now coming into their country, it is thought that this law was made, for the priest of the Assyrians, Venus, made use of women's apparel, and in the feast of Bacchus, men disguised themselves like women. And we can see that here today. Okay, and this is what all of the leaders of this world do, even those who go into Hollywood. Okay, when they go amongst each other in their parties, this is what they do. The men, okay, put on women's clothing, lipstick, and they make it. They put it even in the entertainment, and it becomes funny. Tyler Perry. Now let's deal with Deborah, and we'll end it off. Just for edification, let's get the book. What is it? Was that Judges 4, I believe? Let's see. Judges, the 4th chapter. Okay. Deborah becomes Israel's judge because Israel was going off so bad. The Lord put a woman as judge. But when you look at it, okay, she was under the tutelage of Barak. Okay. And Deborah was a beautiful woman, and she did good things. All right. So let's see, Judges 4, and we'll start at around 6. It says, and Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lapidoth, she judged Israel at that time. Let's see here. Let's go to 6. And she dwelt under a palm tree of Deborah between Ramah and Bethel in Mount Ephraim, and the children of Israel came up to her for judgment. And what did she do? And she called Barak. My man Barak Allah, all right, from Los Angeles. Yeah, he was back then. All right, he had to help her out. It says, and she sent and called Barak, the son of Abinom, okay, out of that land, and said unto him, have not the Lord God Israel commanded, saying, go draw towards Mount Tabor, and take with thee 10,000 men of the children of Naphtali and of the children of Zebulun? See that? And who's Barak? It means bless. Damn sure ain't talking about Barack Obama. Okay, let's look up Barak. You should know about Barak. Okay, Barak. Okay, I thought it was the Barak, like Barakatah, blessing. Okay, I learned something. Barak, lightning or lightning flash. I thought that was Bazak. Okay, I have to look that up. But let's see here. Son of Obinoam. All right, incited by Deborah, a prophetess of Ephraim. Okay, so Deborah was an Ephraimite woman. All right, delivered the Israelites from the yoke of Jabin by routing the Canaanites in the plain of Jezreel. See that? So all of you women who love to jump to Deborah, don't forget, yes, she was judge, but don't forget who she leaned on for counsel. And no, she wasn't in the wars. She gathered the men and gave instruction under the tutelage of Barak. Okay. Verse 7, and I will draw unto thee to the, let's see here. Let's read it in the NLT. I will call out Sisera, commander of Jabin's army, along with his chariots and warriors. There will I give you victory over him. Barak told her, I will go, but only if you go with me. Very well, she replied, I will go with you, but you will receive no honor in this venture, for the Lord's victory over Sisera will be at the hands of a woman. See that? So to shame Israel, okay, because they had been so disobedient, okay, the Lord used a woman, okay, but who went to war? Okay, so Deborah went with Barak to Kadesh, At Kadesh, Barak called together the tribes of Zebulun and Naphtali, 10,000 warriors, okay, went with him. Deborah also went with him, okay. Now Heber, the Canaanite, a descendant of Moses' brother-in-law, Hobab, had moved away from the other members of his tribe and pitched his tent. And you can go the rest, you can read the rest. And Deborah said to Barak, get ready. This is the day Yahweh will give you victory over Sisera. All right. For the Lord is marching ahead of you. So Barak led his 10,000 warriors, all right, on the slopes of the Mount Tabor in battle. And when Barak attacked, okay, where did Deborah attack? Was Deborah one of the 10,000 warriors? No. Okay. And you could keep reading, you know. So Sisera fell, all right. And Barak and the men of Israel took them down. So, and Deborah, okay, when it was all said and done, what did she do? She sung a song, Soft Life. Okay? Soft life. It's the only way to go. Let's see here. So she started praising the Lord, cursing out the Edomites. Verse 4. All right. And that's a beautiful thing, man. Just like, you know, Moses' sister, Miriam, sung a song. Anyway, that's that. Hopefully edified. All right. And as far as this story here,
last night, we told you about 27-year-old Danisha Montgomery. She was a military police officer stationed in Germany when her family got a call that they will never forget. Here is a portion of that frantic call home from our story with investigative correspondent Rich McHugh.
In this 12-minute video call with her family, she said she went with a group of military police from her unit off base to a water park, said they had been drinking, and on the car ride back, they assaulted her.
They choked me out. Look, they was doing me in the car. I kept telling them, I was like, I can't breathe. I was like, I can't breathe. I was gasping for air. I was like, bro, I ain't never been so scared in my life. I legit.
And women get in this situation, but they be drinking, laughing, giggling, laughing at the men's jokes. And these are fucking crazy, uncouth warriors who are at war. What do you think they thinking? We're finna rape this bitch. Anyway, shalom.